Good evening.
Hello. Hello.
Nice
Well,
to be back at it.
yeah, we are. Well, we are where we are, which is the usual place, our homes. But the band is in Noblesville, Indiana, at a venue that's been through various name changes, corporate sponsorships, etc., but which will always be Deer Creek in the hearts of Deadheads everywhere.
Indeed. A lot of Grateful Dead history in that place. I've never been myself, but it certainly has been the home to some fine music, including tonight. Man, I keep thinking this band is peaked, but it keeps coming out here with amazing stuff. There was a slight stumble at the beginning of a Foolish Heart, but otherwise a fierce, powerful, clean, and lovely set.
Yeah, Foolish Heart is one of those ones where they're feeling their way back into it. They haven't played it for several tours, I don't think, and you know they forget things. They're human.
Right?
But
I'm not
other than
complaining.
that, you want to run down that set list for us?
Sure, they started with a nice long Viola Lee blues. By the way, they started pretty promptly after seven, I think. This is a very long first set in terms of time. Viola Lee blues, Loose Lucy, Road Jimmy, Friend of the Devil, a brisk little friend of the devil there. They love each other, nicely stretched out, as has been the habit lately. Foolish Heart, as previously discussed, and then somewhat to my surprise, right when I was thinking they'd probably do a quickie to end the set, they sort of drifted into a nice other one and jammed really hard on that for a good while before finally coming to what I was expecting in the first place, a nice short one, Don't Ease Me In.
Right. And they didn't get to part two of the other one. They were sort of winding it down, a little bit of a diminuendo, and then they slammed into Don't Ease Me In. And that was a very enjoyable segue there. And speaking of enjoyable
I, I'm,
segues,
I'm guessing, I'm thinking we'll probably get the rest of it in the second set, but who knows with this band?
it could happen tomorrow. You never know. It might not happen till next tour. You never know with these guys. They may play other versions of the other one in between, but they will consider the next part two they play not to be the part two they had in mind. I don't know. You never know with these guys. They're always pulling up switches. They are surprising us. They're confounding our expectations. I absolutely did not expect the other one at that point in the first set. And that's why this
No.
tour has been so much fun. And speaking of segues, we are segueing into the part of the program called Dead Air, which is something we are
Right.
very privileged to do every night of the tour, as we did last year. I'm Gary Lambert. He's David Gans over there. And uh, we're just having a blast doing this. We have a different guest every night. We're going to get ours on in just a moment. But first, we want to tell you this is brought to you by our good friends and, frankly, our employers at the moment at nugs.net, the incredible streaming service, live streaming organization, an entity that brings people so much wonderful live music. It is devoted entirely to live music, whether in archival recorded form or live streams or uh, webcasts or downloads or streams of recent shows. This show will be available for download in maybe a day or so. They turn it around pretty quickly. And you can subscribe to nugs.net on a variety of levels that will give you access to their entire streaming service. You can, as you know, buy these individual live streams of shows or buy an entire tour, as many people are doing. And if you are seeing this, say, on YouTube or the Dead and Company social platforms or anything like that, that means you're probably seeing a free preview of set number two, which includes Dead Air as a little bonus, bit of lagniappe. But it is here to encourage you to check out nugs.net more closely. You can get a free trial and see just how vast and deep their library of live music is. A lot of jam band representation, a lot of Grateful Dead family representation, but also artists like Wilco and Bruce Springsteen and Pearl Jam, many favorites. Younger bands that are just starting to emerge, Goose, who are blowing up very big in the jam world, are available on nugs.net. There's so much great stuff. I listen to it as a fan all the time, and I listen to it in a professional capacity as well, as does David for our radio endeavors.
It's true, and they have a particular interest in me because I do produce a radio show. They have audio files of all of these shows available in a downloadable form in a lot of different formats. It comes in very handy if you like to travel with this music in your ears. And as Gary noted, they've launched a streaming service recently, which includes, I'm guessing there must be, what's the next thing up from petabytes of audio files? There are terrible terabytes of music available almost on demand here through this thing. As Gary said, running back years and years and years and spanning literally thousands of artists, including, small time players like me. They've got music from like jam crews and stuff like that. It's a vast library, well worth exploring. And I don't know exactly what you get with the subscription service, but I'm guessing it's probably a pretty broad peek into that pretty broad library, but I'm not sure. You could go to nugs.net and look. There's a nugs.net/deadco link you can go to that I think has special offers relating to things like the current Dead and Company tour and things like that.
That's right. So, and they're always expanding. They just signed an agreement with Bruce Springsteen to release a whole batch of archival shows from throughout his career, pretty much, starting in 1975, just as Born to Run was about to break big, and then up to tours, including his amazing tour of Australia in 2014. They have a bunch of that stuff. And there will be more from Bruce
The
next
River
year.
Tour.
Right. He and the E Street Band are saddling up for next year. So
And didn't we hear that the Grateful Dead's whole release library is now going to be part of NugsNet, or is now
that's
part of Nugs? I'm not
that's what
sure.
Brad Serling told us the other night. I don't know if it's officially launched yet or if it's imminent, but as soon as we know, we'll let you know, and I'm sure Nugs will let you know too. So we look forward to that as well. Just an incredible wealth of music. So check out nugs.net. But I think we should introduce a very special guest. You know, if you've been going to Dead related concerts, concerts in the Dead adjacent world, you may have noticed that occasionally some of the iconic guitars created for Jerry Garcia, basses created for Phil Lesh, and other you know, amazing have been turning up in the hands of Dead inspired players. People like Jeff Mattson playing Jerry's alligator guitar, and many other examples. John Mayer, of course, played Wolf at City Field a few years ago, and this is an incredible thing to see. It's so inspiring to see these instruments that we loved so much when they were played by the original guys, and now other players are finding inspiration in them. And we are about to introduce David. Why don't you do the honors? The gentleman centrally responsible for that.
Yes, let's talk to Andy Logan about how this all came to be. He's the founder of the Grateful Guitars Foundation. Welcome, Andy. There you
Hey
are.
guys,
Hey, Andy.
Thank you for
thank
joining
you.
us. I have one simple question for you, sir. Who are you and how did you come to do this?
Thank you first so much for having me, you guys. I really appreciate all your work, all your published work, Tales from the Golden Road, and all the things that you do, as well as the whole Grateful Dead scene, the Core Four, and just David and Mark and all the people keeping the music going. It's really, really fun. And I'm sure for all of us, such a relief. And, after Jerry died, I don't know about you guys, but I know I was really worried if we were ever going to hear these songs live. And David, I
Oh,
have to thank you because Broken Angels was one of the first bands I saw play Grateful Dead music again live. So that was back in,
that
I
was
think,
a
maybe
thrill. But
1998
we
or
we
something.
knew this music wasn't going to die. Come on. We because there were already tons and tons of musicians all around the country playing this stuff, and some of us have been doing it for 20, 30 years already by the time the Grateful Dead stopped doing it. And by the way, all of them kept doing it too, the ones that survived.
For sure.
Very
And I'm
true.
just so happy about it. And also just with Dead and Co. and to be at Shoreline. I was there in June and, to see that giant place filled with all of our tribe is just such a thrill. I even got my 21-year-old son to join me finally to see what that's like. Cause I told him, you never know if we'll be, at places like Shoreline in down the road. So just so stoked about all that. And I just want to quickly also just send my love out to Craig Marshall's family and
Oh, yeah.
friends, and Rick Turner's family and friends, two legends in our tribe who recently passed in the last couple of months, and both offered tons of gifts to our scene. Craig Marshall, as an example, was one of the original Grateful Dead tribute bands, the only one that I've ever heard of that had Jerry's permission to play Grateful Dead music, which is a great story that hopefully will be in our forthcoming documentary. We have a clip of him telling that story. But I just want
Very
to
good.
send my love to those families and their fans, and know that everyone's thinking of them. But just obviously, it's a long story as far as what started all of that. I think, for me, I started buying guitars first for my wife because she was playing and I was playing the drums. And because I'm a deadhead, the first thing I bought her was a Takamine acoustic, and then I got her a Sunburst Strat. And so I was sort of following already. This is going in the '90s. Any guitar I bought was basically influenced by my heroes. And I got this crazy idea that it would be really fun to have an example of each instrument through time. And so I started building a collection of Jerry guitars all the way from 65 to 95, and going really deep down the rabbit hole on Are You Kind, and with the great help of people like Brad Sarno and Mike Wald, a lot of knowledgeable tech gearheads, built a guitar rig, and started building this collection and loaning those guitars out to the players that were doing those shows. And there was a little period there where, like, we're Phil and Friends at Terrapin did a run of recreation shows from 65 to 95, and they were just incredible. It was actually, I think it was June of 16, when John Mayer was played with Phil, and that was a lot of us, our first introduction to John Mayer. And I love they played Road Jimmy tonight because that was, to me, the song that grabbed me with him. The show at Terrapin, they were doing Cornell, and we were all so excited for Cornell, right? Legendary show, but not quite sure how it was going to go with Stu Allen and John Mayer playing. And John really started to flex during Road Jimmy, and it was like, oh yeah, this is going to work really well. So anyway, that whole run of recreation shows started it. It also started me picking up guitars to represent Bobby's line between 65 and 95. And then again, loaning that out to other bands as they did a random show. And even if someone wants to do the Melkweg of '81, I have that Japanese Yamaha. But a big piece of it too was I was very fortunate to become the steward of Steve Kripe's Saturn guitar, also known as Tribute, which was finished as a tribute to Jerry. So Steve Kripe built Jerry's Lightning Bolt guitar, and also a guitar called Top Hat that never made the stage. But anyway, Steve died in '96, just a year after Jerry, and did finish two guitars that were commissioned by the Dead but never were received by Jerry. One was called Saturn and one was called Eagle. And Saturn was in the line of basically Doug Irwin and Tiger and Rosebud and Bolt. And I started loaning that out to Jeff Mattson and Stu Allen and other players. And between doing that and then also loaning out those guitars from the sort of Grateful Dead library, as Dennis McNally has coined it, I could just see how inspired these guys were with the gear. And it might seem like a duh, but it just was really, really amazing to me to watch them light up, right, when they'd see one of these pieces come out and something they haven't played before. And I always feel like Jerry, or Bobby in a Bobby case, or the spirit of all this whole thing kind of lands maybe on their shoulder in some way and just lifts that player for that show, and they get really inspired. And then, as is with our scene, this beautiful feedback loop occurs with the audience because our audience is so present. They see them lift, and then they lift, and then the band sees the fans lift, and it goes round and round. Yeah. So it just was really, really fun to see that. And also on the maybe more shadow side of that, I meet players who've been playing for, 20, 30 years who couldn't afford, world-class instruments that they absolutely deserve to play. And so it just struck me.
You've made that happen for some people. That's what this foundation is doing, right?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so it seemed like a really good idea to start a foundation where we could start gifting guitars out to players. I had done that personally for a bit, but wanted to grow that, and so we started the Grateful Guitars Foundation last year, and it's a 501c3 nonprofit, and we identify talented players and put world-class instruments in their hands to keep this jam band music scene thriving well into the 21st century and beyond.
Wow. Well, you know, you mentioned Rick Turner earlier, who was such a pivotal figure in this movement, who we lost recently as well. And Rick was an amazing person, an innovator. And, people have called Les Paul and Leo Fender, the Henry Ford or Thomas Edison of electric guitar, because they produce these consistently wonderful, mass production instruments. But Rick was sort of like the Antonio Stradivari of the electric guitar, and I have heard violinists who have played a Stradivarius that was previously played by Paganini or some great master of the past, and they say they feel the power of an instrument like that in their hands. So Rick invented this artisan, you know, electric guitar field, and so
Hey,
the
I,
players the
I
players
can
who get to play those instruments just they feel that power when they have those instruments in their hands.
I can attest to that from personal experience. There was a Rick Turner guitar that I felt like a better musician the instant I picked it up. And we were all together. The three of us were all together in Ventura in April, actually, what turned out to be Rick Turner's last day with us as well. And Craig was not able to play that day, but his spirit was in evidence everywhere. But you made several miracles happen at that time. Dark Star Orchestra played one of their Europe 72 tribute sets, and did they not have two of the instruments that had been on the stage the first time?
Well, they did play Alligator for the 4/8/72 show that they did, and earlier Rob and J.K. played an acoustic set where John played Jerry's Martin, his 1943 Martin guitar that I steward as well.
Wow.
Wonderful.
And Mission Control,
What
Phil's
wasn't
Mission
there?
Control bass was there that weekend and
Yes, yes,
sounding
and that
wonderful.
that was right, and having those two, they never were on stage together. They actually just missed each
Oh,
other in the Grateful Dead lineup. And so for Alligator, the last show was Jerry's birthday in 1973, and then, as many probably recall, Mission Control came out about around the Dead movie, so like October '74.
Yeah.
it
So
was
yeah,
great,
having
just
those on
great
stage
fun to watch
together.
all of these musicians take turns playing these amazing instruments. Roger Seidman from the China Cats got to play one of Phil's Ken Smith basses and stuff. It was Everybody was just so lit up by it. It's such a good feeling, and I appreciate your mission. Is the Grateful Guitars Foundation open to contributions from people? Do you do fundraisers? What is your source of the funding for this largesse?
Yes, on our website, gratefulguitars.org, there is a place to donate there via PayPal. And I do want to acknowledge Jason Schooner is on our board, and Jason is someone who is 100% behind this ethos of sharing this gear and having it enjoyed by the fans. Both of us feel really strongly that that's what these are meant to be. I try to think a lot about.
Yeah.
Let me do this right. Is this Jerry on this side? Sorry, I'm in the mirror. There's Jer. I try to think about, what would Jerry do? If someone says, "Hey, can I hold that, man?" And I think, okay, this guy looks sober. I think Jerry would say, "Sure, let this guy hold it. Why not?"
Yeah.
Because I understand that collectibles have their place and people want to put things on walls and all those things. Although I will say, Rick and I talked a lot about the Stradivarius and how many of them were out there playing, and he shared with me they'd all had neck resets and all kinds of work done to them, and that they were meant to be played, and that's really the key with all
Of
this. And
course they
so,
were.
Yeah.
right, and so how could a
Well, I
guitar,
know.
50s or 60s or 70s
I
not get played too?
Exactly. I know a lot of people in the musical instrument business who like hide the good stuff when certain collectors show up because they don't like the fact that these instruments get put away. And in fact, I remember bringing my Renaissance into Rick Turner's shop once and having the workers look at it and just say, "Oh, it's so great to see a guitar that's being used." So you're
Yes.
doing the right thing, getting these guitars into the hands of players.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I think about like if it, if someone bumps it accidentally on the amp on the way to the stage or whatever it is, that probably happened hundreds of times. So it's
Oh
fine.
yeah.
It's going to be fine.
Oh indeed. I also wanted to ask you. You've got your irons in a lot of fires. You're a busy guy, and you have a diversity of musical interests and musical endeavors. I know you're working with. We have to cut it short in a minute, but I just want to get. You're working with the wonderful Alex Jordan, singer songwriter, who was with Midnight North early on, and you're doing stuff with him. You're doing stuff with Dark Star as well.
Yes. So for Alex, we have working on an album. It's in post production right now. Steve Berlin from Los Lobos is producing,
Oh
and it's
Very
going to be
man,
coming
nice.
out in 2023. So we're really excited about that. Working a lot with Dark Star Orchestra because they're all, they're big gearheads and they just love what we've been all about. And so they've been a wonderful partner and helping them with their Europe 72 tour that's coming up here in the fall. So I hope people will make the trek over and join us, especially like at the Olympia Theater. That's one of the
oh
venues
yeah.
from Europe 72 where the gig will be
Wow.
played. And then I can't not mention that we're working on a documentary too about this whole tribute scene and really about the legacy of this whole thing. There's so much goodness that comes from it. And as you know, I'm a psychotherapist, so I can never not be in that headspace. And
Right.
there's so many gifts that come from our community and our tribe, and so many that are so needed right now. It is a real tough time,
Amen.
as we all know. And
Well,
It
these
is.
moments are just respites for all of us. And I'm
Thank
just so
you.
happy that this doc will hopefully help people see why we love it so, and then maybe make us some new fans too.
right. Well, music
Here's
and
hope.
therapy not music and therapy not only go hand in hand. Music is therapy, as we all know. So your livelihood and the things you love in life are very much hand in hand. Andy, I think we have to say goodbye to you now as the band is approaching the stage for the second set. And we're very happy about that as well. Great to have you join us. I hope to see you again soon, maybe even before Skull and Roses next year, but soon.
Thank you
Thank you,
guys so
Andy.
so much for the time. Have a great second set, everybody.
Indeed.
Compass card is spinning. Helm is swinging to and fro. Ooh, where's the dog stop? Some days the gales are howling. Some days the sea is still as glass. Ooh, reef the mainsail. Ooh, lash the mast. The short lights beckon, and there's a price for being free. Hear the seabirds crying. There's a ghost wind blowing, calling you to that misty, swimming sea, till the chains of your dreams are broken. No place in this world you can be. Now the shoreline's beckon. Yeah, there's a price for being free. Hey, for being free. Free and just drifting in. Drifting and dreaming in. Drift away. Drift away. Drifting and dreaming in. Drifting and dreaming. 'Cause there's a place you've never been. Maybe a face you've never seen now. You can hear them calling on the wind. Drifting and dreaming, yeah. Maybe you're gone on a dream now. Maybe you're gone on a feeling. Drift away. Practice makes perfect. Drift away. Drift away. Drifting and dreaming. Drifting and dreaming. Drifting and dreaming. Drifting and dreaming. Maybe you're on a dream now. Maybe you're on a feeling. Maybe you're on a feeling. Hey, this must be heaven. Tonight I cross the line. You must be an angel. I thought I might never find. Was it you I heard singing? Oh, while I was chasing dreams. Driven on the wind now. Like the dust that blows around. The rain falling down now. that wind blows, when the night's about to fall, you can hear the sirens call. It's a certain sort of sound. The rain falling down now. Rain falling down. Rain falling down. Oh, and what's left of worries. Oh, and the knees of my blues. Off against the mini creasing, but all perfect. Never could read no road map. Oh, I don't know what the weather might do. But hear that witch wind whine and see the lone star shine. I got a feeling there's no time to lose. No time to lose. No. Yeah, but no. Sure don't know. I sure don't know. Well, it's been heaven, but even rainbows land. Now my sails are filling, and the wind is willing, and the good has gone again. I'm still walking, so I'm sure that I can dance. See the circumstance, the tiger in a trance, and the rain falling down now. Rain falling down. 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 sure. Maybe go on feeling, sure don't know what I'm going for. On the stage on me now, on the stage on me. I'm gonna go for it for sure. 'Cause I know something's gonna happen anyway now. Sure don't know what I'm going for. Top of the mountain you can see far and wide now. I'm gonna go for it for sure. Still can't see the mountains other side now. Sure don't know what I'm going for. Maybe on the dream now. I'm gonna go for it for sure. Maybe go on the feeling. Listen to me. Sure don't know what I'm going for. It ain't hard to say now. I'm gonna go for it for sure. Got to go for it anyway now. Sure don't know what I'm going for. Maybe going on the dream now. I'm gonna go for it for sure. Maybe going on the feeling. Maybe going on the feeling. Rat in a drain ditch, caught on a limb. You know better than I know. Like I told you what I said. Steal your face right off your head. Now he's gone. Now he's gone. Lord, he's gone. He's gone. 9 miles skidding on a 10-mile ride. Hard as a pistol, but cool inside. Cat on a tin roof, dogs in a pie. was so strange. Maybe I'm some hardcore mountain train. Horse swung around, but the price wasn't anything. A knife in the back, and more of the same. Same old ride in a train day, out on a limb. You know better, but I know him. Like I told you, what I said. Steal your face right off your head. Now he's gone. Now he's gone. Down in Carlisle he loved a lady many years ago. Here beside him stands a man, a soldier by the looks of him, who came through many fights but lost his love. Storyteller speaks, a door within the fire creaks. Suddenly it flies open, and the girl is standing there. Eyes of lightning glowing red, all the fancy paints eyes fade. She takes a fan and throws it in the lines there. Picture music gave me tell, will Wisconsin's and pains of it. I will not forgive you if you will not take a chance. Strategy was a strength and not disaster. How it stands today, you decide if he was wise.